I'm the one that's been up for like what? How many hours right now? A lot. I have 12 more hours.
We're over halfway.
We're over halfway.
Good.
Well, that's good news.
Good afternoon, Ishan. We appreciate you taking time. I know you're a little bit under the weather, but thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, no problem. Glad to be here.
I'm very excited. Like Lauren just messaged and said, y'all need to know each other. And I love good connections like that. So I'm glad that Facebook Messenger was able to bring us together.
Yes,
Just a proof of social media and what it can do, right?
100%. I mean, I'll make a lot of connections these days on social media, and it's not just making them on social media, it's making them in real life. So eventually I'd love to meet you in person. So that's
I come up to Dallas once or twice a month. So yes, we can go to lunch. I think that would be great.
That would be really fun.
So Ishan, why don't you start off by telling those that are out there watching us all here a little bit of who you are and exactly what you do, the magic that you make. All right.
Yeah, for sure. So I've been in the social media world since basically I was around 13 years old. I launched my first company around 13, 14, went into the photography world, and then went back into the marketing world. And I've been able to work with companies ranging from local nonprofits to international startups to what else? Presidential campaigns. I've kind of been all over the place, and it's been amazing. I've been able to really diversify my portfolio when it comes to understanding different companies, social media, and what it takes to really get out there. And I've been able to work with some companies like on that were connected to Shark Tank. I've been able to work with things connected to Mark Cuban, and that's been amazing for me to really learn. I've been able to work with some of the best teams around, and I guess that's what's put me in this position today.
Wow. So wait, you started your first company at like 14?
Yeah, 13, 14. It was built around outsourcing, funny enough. And I basically just provide services, and I would flip it around and give it to someone else to do. And it worked pretty well for a while. But then I realized, why don't I actually do these myself? Learn how to use Photoshop and learn how to do things that can build my skill set.
Nice. So right now, I'm just looking at your credentials on Facebook and on LinkedIn, it's pretty robust. So what is it that you're actively doing right now? Is it your company? Is it mostly consulting?
Yeah, it's basically it's consulting, and it's consulting kind of takes me everywhere, because I've clients ranging from West Coast all the way to the East Coast. I've been able to really diversify that set as well, which has allowed me to travel and really get out to places where I would never be able to get out and go to. The fun thing about Dallas is it's 3 hours from anywhere in the country. So
right.
when I was on the West Coast, I really missed that. I was like, oh, I need to be on the East Coast. Okay, I might as well take a flight to London from Dallas at that point. It's just it's a very, very it's far when you're traveling from one coast to the other, and communication is also very laggy, but that's why I love Dallas. And Dallas right now is my HQ for now, but hopefully I'll be moving somewhere cooler soon. I don't know, New York or San Francisco, but the funny part is everyone's coming to Dallas from there. So
I was gonna say, you should come hang out in Austin for a little bit. It's pretty cool down here.
I was there for South by Southwest, but your entire city was shut down during South by Southwest.
It definitely does shut down.
You guys going to overhaul. It's interesting.
Well, if you want to come get a good downtown experience, you can come hang out with us next week and just chill.
Austin's definitely booming, especially your startup community. I've definitely heard some amazing things going on over there.
Yeah, we've been working a lot with startups down here, and so the whole concept of Social Media Day is to help those startups, is to help those entrepreneurs and small business owners, and it's just to bring awareness to some of the things that people have been doing with social media. So right before you, we had a Florida governor candidate was talking about social media and politics, and before that we had cannabis and social media, and we had a bunch of people from all overseas earlier today just talking about these really in-depth topics like social media and mental health, and what social media has done both positively and negatively.
Yeah, it's a huge topic.
But also practical things too. So what tips in all of your experience in consulting and working with these bigger companies, any kind of nuggets that you can share with our audience of things they need to put into action or they should be doing?
Yeah, 100%. So a lot of companies, I mean, that's a very big question, but I'm going to narrow it down by framing it a little bit. And when I say that, I basically mean like, okay, so let's just take an example. Let's take a look at Target. So I was able to actually meet the CEO of Target, and if he's watching, shout out. But I was talking to him. I was like, so what are you guys doing right now? What is the thing that you guys are pushing to get ahead of the curve? Because Amazon's coming in and kicking butt when it comes to online sales and e-commerce. And then these brick and mortar stores are really suffering the full wrath of Amazon when it comes to flexibility and easeability when it comes to like buying things and hitting my door in a few hours. So he basically said, like, we're using influencers, we're using social media channels to really push and drive our image and our shape, which was really interesting. The fact that they've noticed and leveraged influencers faster than most companies. And that's why I feel like they will be ahead of the curve come 2020 or 2022 when 40% of the market space is Gen Z. Because Gen Z basically communicates through influencers. They're not communicating through TV ads anymore, or they're not communicating through radio shows or email marketing campaigns or direct mail to your mailbox through snail mail. That's really not hitting them. And social media is shifting to this place that is really changing up the dynamic for companies that have been around for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And like that's why I come in and I'm like, okay, how can we build a strategy to help consumers that are shifting to this online platform? And a lot of companies don't like to switch. They go, oh, we're fine. I'm like, no, you have 50 followers on Instagram and you're a multi-billion-dollar company. It's not that bad, but you more like 10,000 followers, but you understand the point.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, it's amazing for me to see that. Like, they have no like sense of the weight that social media is carrying. It's not just like it's not just a page on the internet. It's more like your front store. And the way that other fans are interacting with your content is what's reflecting on your sales patterns and your reputation and credibility. Like, whenever I want to buy something these days, I get on my phone, I Google it. Like, is this cheaper somewhere else? And then what pulls up usually when I Google a company is their social media right under that, or some PR and some articles, or whatever is out there that they're driving that builds their SEO. And like, if you have 10 followers on Instagram and posted once in the last 3 years, that's really not going to connect to someone who's like trying to research and see if this is a product that I really want to buy and purchase. And that's my golden tip right now is if your company's not on social media, I definitely recommend getting on there and leveraging the tools, the analytics, the ad space that these social medias are allowing business owners and marketers to really take ownership of.
Is there any one platform that you suggest business owners for sure get on? Because every business owner thinks they need to be on everything, and that's not necessarily true. But if there's one dominant platform you think that they should all be on,
I truly think that they should have a presence cross-platform, that they should definitely have accounts created and posted consistently, if not once a day, once a week, or once a month, where they're providing a way to show, look, guys, we're active, we're posting, we're real. But when it comes to the perfect social media, it goes back to what your audience is and your target audience, whether it's a teenager or a young adult, or it's a person that is in their late 20s, and that all plays an effect to what social media you should be on. So to kind of answer that question without going into too much detail would be like millennials. If you're trying to reach the older millennials, Facebook's the place to go. But if you're trying to reach Gen Z, Snapchat and Instagram's the place where you should kind of swim and kind of stay. So Facebook, as you guys must know, that they have their huge ad system, and that's literally an economy in itself if you sit back and look at how much money is funneling through that. And Facebook has allowed a lot of business owners to really get out there. I've seen people make hundreds and thousands of dollars like in minutes and hours through good ad sets and using Facebook the way not really using Facebook the way it should be, but it's kind of like understanding the system and taking advantage of the tools that they're given to us, the public.
Nice. So I see that you're the marketing strategist for Mark Cuban's companies. What is it like to work in that realm? Just that's just really cool.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, I worked on a few projects heavily in the past. Now it's just like an on and off kind of thing where I'm just like, okay, how can I help out things that are going on here and there? But like I got to really diversify my like portfolio when it comes to understanding like, look, I've been able to work on a mobile app, then I could work on a hoverboard, then I could work on something else that's big. And that was really cool for me to figure out and learn and work with amazing people on their teams. Like that was really interesting because a lot of people are always trying to get in there and really like work. And I was able to learn a lot of stuff in a short amount of time because the teams there are phenomenal, like world class. And I was able to work with a lot of people there. So.
What would you say is probably the biggest nugget you took from that? I mean, they're great. You've learned a lot, but what is there something that stands out the most from your time there?
I mean, it's a good question. I learned a lot of small things, but I feel like if it all adds up, I mean, teamwork, I guess. Like, how can we come together and build something and making sure that everyone stays involved and it's valuable to the client or the product at the end of the day. Like, it's easy to take ownership over things, like quickly saying, oh, I built that ad set or I built that campaign. But it's important to be like, okay, what can we do as a team to create something? And I feel like that's something that we're all learning. I mean, all continuously. It's easy to take credit for a lot of things, but I mean, I got to work in a team environment on huge projects, so that was really cool to really do. Because usually when it comes to consulting, I'm like telling people what to do, like, hey, do this, do that, do this, do that. For them, it was like, how can we do something that helps the client together or build something like that. So marketers are usually, they don't really like to work, at least the people that are building ad sets, they don't really like to work together because they have their own formulas and their own systems in place. And when it comes to working with other people, they turn into lone wolves. I've really,
mine.
well, yeah, I mean, it's because they don't want anything to mess up. And like, I've been working with a lot of marketers here and there and talking to them, and I've realized that's a common trait when it comes to them. It's just like they're very like let's do this, let's do that, and let's see if it works. They're not like, how about, and they're like recommending things. They're like, they jump on it, get started. At least that's what a good marketer does, in the sense, especially social media, because there's so much you can do. Like, it's a lot of people just come out there like, oh, we'll build your page, we'll do that. But like, good marketers have a system in place, like that's attainable through patterns and steps. Like, that's another thing I recommend to anyone who's hiring a marketer. See what their system is. They have to have a system. Like a good friend of mine, Dennis Yu, he has literally a system that can be put into a novel, in the sense that he has everything knocked down to steps. That's extremely detailed when it comes to social media, building the plumbing, building the ad sets that will match, and then the lookalike audiences, how to cook the pixel, all that good stuff. And that's something I also took away, was that if you don't have a structured system that isn't repeatable, then you're probably getting lucky, or you're pressing buttons. So.
Well, you know, that is a lot of the people that say they are marketers. Like, I have my agency, I've had it for 5 years. Like, we're boutique, we work with very specific business owners, and we work on projects we love to do. That's basically the thing, right? That's the dream. So we're constantly competing against the person that's like, I can post on Facebook for you. I'm like, can you?
Yeah, no, really? Like, where did you find the post button? Like, I'm just...
Yeah, it's like, do you even know like some of the things that you are doing right now, or that you should be?
No, like, I come face to face with those people too, as those content creators / marketers. I'm like, I come up to people, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm a marketer. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? They're like, oh, I create content. I'm like, so you post on social media? And it's really interesting to see those people. And these companies hire these people, like, they pay them $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 a month to create content. Again, if you're creating good content, I don't have any issues with that. But if you're posing that you're a marketer and you're like, we'll build your page and we'll get you up to like 100,000 followers, it's highly unlikely that's going to happen. That's why I never give a number to my clients. Like, there's no way I can sit back and be like, oh, I'll get you to 5,800 followers next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Like, there's no way that that's possible. There are ways that you can send traffic and hope for the best that people will sit there and follow the page, but there's different methods you can use when it comes to growing accounts rapidly. But like, it's just a lot of people like, oh yeah, we can get you to 100,000 followers quickly. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, what's your system? What's in place? And I'm like, that's private.
Fake ones.
Yeah, and you're just basically stealing money at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's super unfortunate. How's my reception? I can see I have yellow bars on my screen. Am I good?
You're good? Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem whatsoever.
Coming through clear. The feed through Facebook is clean. So yeah. You look good. Your hair's fine. I know no one would ever know that you were sick.
Yeah, I have a pop-up studio in my house. That's why the lighting's like this. So it's very helpful whenever I need to get on calls.
You know what? That's pretty handy. We got our halo lights and everything. Like, so
yeah,
like they're perfect. They're
it's the small things that count. People, we realize that it's like the small water bottle. It's like in the back of a viral post. That's what counts.
So I have a question. You're talking about having such a great kind of standard operating procedure for creating things, creating content, creating pixels, stuff like that. What happens to that when Facebook throws a monkey wrench in the middle of it?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, Facebook's going through a lot of changes right now, and it's affecting a lot of people in different industries, and I've noticed that. That's kind of why I've pulled back from Facebook ads personally. It's because that it's so unstable, and I can't provide a service that is honest, because that's like, at this point, I'm like, what is happening? Like, I need to sit there and I need to spend like another $5,000 out of pocket just to figure out what the hell is going on before I can turn back around and provide that service to anybody. So as of now, they are going through a lot of shifts and changes. Like, they just literally made their public, like, you can go on Nike right now and go see what ads are running, I believe. So like, it's like, that's insane. Because like, for us, we can study those and be like, okay, what is this multi-billion dollar company doing, and how can we take what they're doing and shrink it down to a smaller level? But I just think a lot is shifting, and the thing is, social media is so new, and all these like all these ad set platforms like that are coming around, they're really learning, and they're in their teenage years right now, because they're just like, a lot of people are poking and pricking them and yelling at them, and it's just like they want them to be perfect and work 100% of the time, but the truth is they're not, and they are a marketplace. Like, if you run in the radio ad, like right now, there's no guarantee the results will ever come from that. And the thing about Facebook ads is they give you so many metrics that can track back to things that people are like, oh no, it's not working. Like, go back 10 years, like, you threw a campaign, a billboard up, flyers up, there's no way for them to track that. With all these metrics and data that's coming around, a lot of people are freaking out too easily. And personally, I am too. But it's just, when it comes to running ads and campaigns, understand that there's more to it than just like, oh, what's the success rate here? Like, brand awareness and brand, like how people are recognizing things, like noticing the frequency. Like, people are drilling me with like the same ad 6 times a day. I'm like, I've never reported an ad. I was so close to doing it once. Like, I was just like, why am I seeing this silly ad that has nothing to do with anything I want? And their frequency must be like through the roof. But it's, a lot of companies tend to miss that fact, that it's not about like just running successful ads. It's about like actual people are seeing those. Like, the way you like present your brand really reflects on what's going to happen to it in 1 year, 10 years, 5 years down the road. And people tend to forget that. They're just too busy running these crazy viral ads. They kind of cross the line sometimes.
Yes, they forget to actually create, great content, and they're just running ads.
Clickbait. They're literally generating clickbait.
Yeah, they haven't made any kind of personal connection or engagement with their audience. And you said everything is going towards influencer marketing, and if that's
at least in the Gen Z space, because
there's nothing there. Like, if they're not getting on board, all of these brands are just going to be left behind. Yeah,
a lot of brands are quickly realizing the fact that it's important to have some influencer, or like Mercedes has Guy, and like they're shifting these mascots in house, like building their brands within the company. And it's like Geico, like it's this lizard, like it's just their mascot they're pushing, and that's what brands are kind of thinking. I'm like, no, you need to work with micro influencers that are cross-platform, that are in different spaces, that are pushing your concept and your company. And that's a win, not just like finding one celebrity or finding one influencer, paying them $1 billion and getting them to push your brand. It's about building that connection with an audience.
It is.
And it's always a work in progress. You know what I mean? Depending on what's going on. You know, we had a politician on a second ago talking about pro-gun, pro-cannabis, you know, and he's in a spot where he's having a hard time being able to be something because he's making both sides happy, but he's also pissing both sides off.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I actually have a formula for that, and it's interesting because like when it comes to like pushing out content to people, like I've literally targeted opposing campaigns before to run ads, and the reason I do that is because when you push out content, you really want it to gain traction. And if you push content to the people that already see and support stuff, why the hell would they sit there? Oh, I love you. Like they're going to do that when you have it shifting and pushing to the opposite side, and there's people sitting there literally writing the most ridiculous comments, and then you take that same ad and you run to the positive side at the same time, and then you see this war take place, and that's fun. I mean, not really, but it's fun for a marketer to see when you have both these sides really coming in, and both of them, because like if you're just shifting and you're playing it safe and like you're like running it directly towards the winning team, they know they're winning. They have nothing to, they have no reason to sit there and comment. But when you have a bunch of people coming in and going, you suck, or like worse than that, but like coming in and writing the most like ridiculous paragraphs of text, then you have the supporters come in, and then Facebook or Instagram or like Twitter, you know, they see like, look, this post is doing really well, let's push it to the top, and boom, right there, like you have top post, you have you're trending, you're hitting the explore pages, like that's fun stuff. Like that's when you can take advantage of, and that's it. Plus then you have like 10,000, 15,000 little emojicons or like little likes and comments, and the feed looks like it's actually popping, which is good.
It's good to get in and shake it up, you're saying, basically.
Yeah. a lot of people are playing it safe. I'm like, this is social media. Like throw a punch or two and like get out there and have some fun. Like a lot of brands are just, they're playing it safe. And if you play it safe, no one's going to care. Like you're just going to fly by someone's feed. But if you create something controversial and you create something that generates emotions, like Pepsi ethos logos, like what we learned in school, like if you generate like one of each of those categories, that really affects and controls the way your ad will perform, or just not even your ad, but your campaign or your page in general.
Yeah, I think no risk, no reward. You have to be willing to go out there and do that. It's just trying to talk some of these smaller businesses into taking that risk, because
I mean that's why being like a business consultant's fun, because I get in there like, you hired me, like I'm here to, like, you guys are supposed to listen to me, right? Like you can't tell me to shut up, so like how about we do this now? And I sit there and
like, why did you hire me only to tell me no about everything?
Yeah.
Telling you.
Like, why am I sitting here? That's why I'm scared to take a role up at an actual company sometimes, because I feel like I'm just gonna get boxed out, or like, you know what I mean? Like when you're coming in as a third party, you tend to have a little bit more like leeway with things you can push and things you can do. I mean that in a respectful way, for the record, but like when it comes to like working in house, you tend to get really boxed in, and that's what I've seen a lot of marketers, like phenomenal marketers, get boxed in by their own company because the CEO or CMO or whoever's above and below is scared. I mean, it's social media, and the more noise you make, the better. I mean, go look at Wendy's, for God's sake. Like they're over there just like going crazy on people. Like that's fun stuff. They created a bandwagon, and a bunch of fast foods are now fighting with each other and dropping songs. So
yeah, the whole IHOB versus IHOP thing, you know.
Interesting campaigns. We're in a very, very fun time, and it's very easy to go viral, and taking advantage of that is important. Like understanding, like, look, it's what I say, what I do, I can do something right now on this live feed, or say something funny, and it would pick up, and people are gonna be like, oh, what did he say? Why did he say that? And it's just shaping things to evoke emotion is important, but like balance that. Don't go crazy. So
do you think IHOB went too crazy with it?
What was that? Signal broke out.
Do you think that they went too crazy with it? Do you think it
No,
was?
I think they did a great job. I had an issue when Taco Bell was running like the most ridiculous ads and getting away from their brand. Like that was scaring me. So like I feel like IHOP is really interesting. It's a good push because it's still connecting back to their original brand. In some way, they're keeping their colors. They're not shifting to some random push. But like when Taco Bell was launching their ads, when it came to like I forgot what it was, like Illuminati almost. They were like, it was the most.
Oh yeah.
I was sitting back. I was just like, okay, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to leave me confused as hell, but like I'm like thoroughly confused as a marketer. Like at this point I'm lost. Like because they were pushing something so remote and so out of the world that I mean again I'm talking about it right now so they win, but like it was bothering me because like it didn't really connect back to what they really were. Like it didn't want me to go in and buy something. It made me want to like figure out why the heck they're doing this. So
Yeah, the messaging on that one was kind of confusing. I know exactly the ads that you're talking about because I
I
remember.
was very stressed. I was like, what is happening?
The Bellinati.
Well, they want people to talk about the thing. They either figure that it's going to get their brands that are already involved in their brand more excited about them, and the people that aren't, if they're not eating the food, they're at least talking about them. So, like you said, they at least win in this, even though.
Yeah, I just brought him up. So
The movie to come out would have been more appropriate at that point.
Like once I found out the whole IHOB thing was a whole big hoax, which I assumed it was, I was just like, dude, that would have been so much better on April Fool's Day. Like, blow
I mean,
up.
timing. Yeah, it's a good point. You just hit on timing. Timing is very key when it comes to anything. I believe, as a marketer, timing is more important than anything else in the world. Because I mean, any field. Like, I could launch something today, and it's going to perform completely different from tomorrow or next week, or next month or next year. And a lot of brands are really coming, like they're getting late, very late, and they're showing up to these parties, and the party's already over. Like, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, and that's extremely important to recognize that. Like, a lot of these brands have a lot of older people. No offense to anybody who's watching this, working under their wings, and by the time they catch on to something, that trend is kind of already gone. And understanding like, look, we need to form an incubator team or like form a think tank that's full of literally college and high school students, if that's your target audience, or millennials or adults. And these can be like people like one in each state or one every other state, and you're just able to pull these people and be like, what are you guys watching on TV right now? Like, have phone calls with these people, like find out. Like, the truth is a lot of companies don't know their audiences, like actually know their audiences. And this doesn't go from like a small, it goes all the way up to like the top, like Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 50 companies that are struggling to figure out. They're like, what is my audience? Like, what is our target here? And it's because all these there's so many categories that are popping up like every other day. Like there's more things that are jumping up, there are more things that are building, and that's interesting. Like Snapchat, for those that are really pushing Snapchat, that they really just redid their entire ad campaign set. And you can literally, if you have the Snapchat Insight tool, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Like, you can go in there, you can see literally like, look, like 40% of my Snapchat following that's watching my stories and interacting with my content likes college football. So like right there and then, like, they're generating data that is extremely, extremely important that, I mean, Facebook has not done yet, in the sense that, look, they like college football, they like college soccer. Like how about we go to a college football game and I start Snapchatting, and where I don't even give a crap about college football, but I'm sitting there like Snapchatting it because my audience wants it. So it's that's something that, like, instead of making the audiences go with your flow, like, how about you go with their flow and figure out what they really want if you're trying to sell something to them.
How would you suggest that a local business or a small business would do that here in any town? Like, what would you suggest that they do? Run a survey or? Yeah,
I mean, it's small businesses tend to have more leeway because they're interacting with the client or customer on a very personal level. So just ask them questions like, what are you watching on TV these days? What's fun? Like, and if a lot of people are, I'm watching like 1, 2, 3 TV, whatever, and like,
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. So like have a day, Game of Thrones Day or something. Like have an event where like we can connect to the audience. Like if like everyone's like, oh, I love watching Game of Thrones. So how about we have like a Game of Thrones Day on a season finale? Like come and get 50% off all drinks, or come in and get like eat this or get that. I don't know. It's whatever the company's doing. So that's like going with the flow. Like if you have a bunch of Harry Potter fans, then like hand out wands. Like I don't know, like figure out something that like matches your audience, not matches your personal like, oh, let's get more sales, so let's discount everything in the store. Like, no, like that's not gonna work.
More deliberate plan.
With everybody being so much these days with marketing, especially like if you look at Marvel, some of the things Disney is doing, maybe taking a look at the next 6 months of movie releases and planning marketing around something like that, like the next superhero or the next if there is a Harry Potter, which we don't think there, but well, there is, because there is the Fantastic Beasts or whatever's coming out.
Oh yeah, another one.
Stuff like that. So being able to plan out a little bit ahead of time might be a good strategy as well. Versus
predict. Yeah, you have to be able to predict things and predict things quickly. And like the Super Bowl, like what I used to do back in the day was I would buy Snapchat filter spaces over auditoriums like on random days, and they think it's random days, but like before they started hiking it up like 2-3%, 4-5%, 15-20%, like I would buy like, oh look, over this building I know there are going to be 600 people jam-packed on Wednesday, March 18th, so how about I buy that filter and just own it like right now. So I'd go in and buy, like I would hack events basically, because like competitor events, they're like another company's filter is running over there. Like you know how annoying that is, competitor. Like you get on Snapchat and like you're taking a picture and like their competitor's filter just pops up right under it. Like, what? Like so like prediction, like understanding, like look, right now the FIFA World Cup is like booming, so like what could I have done 20-30 days ago to better set me up in a position to be able to better sell? Like should I have ordered cups to match teams, or should I have done like discounts? Like Papa John's is really good at like really pushing out sales when it comes to sports. Like if the Cowboys win, as an example, if the Cowboys win, 50% off everybody. So like everyone's sitting there like drilled to their TV, like, oh, let's go Cowboys, like waiting for that moment to come. Like that's really cool, because this company is really capitalizing on the fact like, look, it's a family company. We're really like American culture based. Football is a big sport, so how about we build that around it? Like have a store, like if Mexico wins, then you get free blah blah blah. So like that's like everyone remembers, like, oh, Mexico won, so let's all go into that store today. Like, yeah, that's a win. Versus like, oh, 20% off all items today. Like, and like, what's the point? So that's
What is your favorite social network? Like, what do you use?
For me, I'm drilled to Snapchat because I'm still technically 19, teenager. So for now, so I'm still like really drilled onto like getting up on Snapchat, checking up what everyone's doing, because I'm able to really connect with like 4 or 5 years under and 4 or 5 years over. I'm like right in the middle. So like everyone's like on Snapchat, so I can connect with my friends that are like 15, 16 and still connect with my friends that are 21, 22. So that's kind of cool. Versus like if I need to connect with like older people, 27, 28, 29, 30, I'm gonna have to get on Facebook or like.
Yeah, thanks. We're Asian. We're Asian.
Older.
Thanks, man.
I'm just picking on you.
I said that during the event. I was like,
our audience.
I only do that because my birthday was yesterday, so I'm just like, now I'm this old person.
No, age is just a number. It's just the. I mean,
it's just a number.
It very much is.
It's a magical number.
Like, it's just a random number.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're just about out of time. Is there anything else you'd want to share or tell us about yourself for the audience? Any way that we can get in contact with you?
Yeah, I mean, well, you can just go to my website, and if you want to reach out to me, there's a form there. My website is my full name. I'm guessing my name was going to be somewhere on the screen. But
we'll also send it out to everyone.
All right, perfect. So just it's ishangoel.com. Everything's on there. You can find my social media, my This is a landing page. Everything's there. So I'll leave it.
Book him, you can hire him, you can Snapchat him, you can do all the things through there.
Yep,
Awesome.
you can reach out. All right, guys. Well, this was really fun, and keep me posted on how everything else goes.
Will do. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
Hey,
it.
man, go get you some vitamin C emergency, get you a nap, and feel better. All right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know what just came over me. It was just like it blew by pretty quick, which is good news. So I'm back on my feet and about to head out to SneakerCon here in Dallas. So that's gonna be
Fun.
so. All right, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye bye.
All right. So let's do
Are we off?